Well, it is very good to be back with you, gentlemen. All three of us together. It ain't the same unless it's all of us. It really is. I wouldn't mind inviting more of our friends to participate with us, but when it comes down to it, this is it.
The three amigos.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
And to break your long fast, my brother.
You shot the invisible swordsman.
I am the Blue Squad.
All right.
You've had it.
Show it to the people.
A blue collar beer. You've had it as a hipster delight. Pabst Blue Ribbon. And contrary to the way that it looks, it is not moonshine. This is Pabst Blue Ribbon whiskey.
Now, can I
think this thing's spent. Yes, sir.
I just got to say, Pabst Blue Ribbon making a whiskey comes off to me as like, and lo, he broke open the seventh seal, and the doom of the earth fell upon. You know, it just seems like something out of Revelations. Like, this does not, it's not bode well.
Yeah. But I have to also say that I've had the scene from Blue Velvet running through my head, you know, but just like in my head, it's the same scene, but someone poorly dubs over the word whiskey. You know, so instead of Frank going, "What's your favorite beer, kid?" Like, "What's your favorite whiskey, kid?" You know,
I will do that.
Can't cover a clown.
Actually, we're gonna cut this out. We're gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna just do that. And I'm gonna have that.
Heineken.
I'm gonna do that.
Monkey shoulder.
So, I looked up the website. And there is something slightly more than nothing they speak about with this whiskey. They do list the mash bill: 52% corn, 27% malted barley, 70% wheat, 4% rye, bottled at 80 proof, so standard octane. And I'm wondering if that's not the same mash bill that they have for the beer. If this is just the beer taken and then distilled. I don't know. Their website doesn't say. This doesn't say. You have no. Doesn't say so. So on the website,
that's a good guess.
It does say Jacob Best would have been making whiskey before beer in 1884, which makes sense. Some 174 years ago, he's trying to create an easy drinking whiskey that was better than the less than desired imports on the market. But eventually settle on his beer. 175 years later, they're taking Jacob's lead and launching Blue Ribbon whiskey. Now, normally, this would have been a moonshine. What differentiates this between a moonshine and whiskey is this has spent like 30 seconds to 5 minutes going through wood.
It's aged.
Yes. So
my theory on that goes back to my limited experience in physics class, which is what they did was they got whiskey barrels, but as the moonshine goes into the whiskey barrel, on the other end of the whiskey barrel, there is a hole cut, and they know the size of the hole to calculate the drain rate. So they just fill this thing up and then unplug it so it fills and unfills, and the whiskey that's in there is in there for 30 seconds. As it, it's just like a continual swirl.
It meets the legal requirement. Now, if this were aged for 2 years in new oak barrels, they could call this bourbon because it meets all the other criteria.
But they didn't.
But said they did not.
They did not.
And this was a find at. I believe I got this at Broidy's, a small local liquor store here in Jacksonville, for $19.99. And I had not touched it until I broke it up to share with you gentlemen. So
I poured it. Are we smelling? Okay, we're smelling it.
Yeah, we're smelling.
Yeah, there's that bad boy.
You can smell the corn.
Yes, you can.
I was about to say the only smell I get is candy corn.
Candy corn. And the internet is just chock full of candy corn fanatics. So they're not this.
God,
it doesn't. Okay. All right. I just had flashbacks.
Okay.
The very first video we ever did for Malort, we all said, "Hey, this doesn't smell as bad as I expected."
Yeah.
Just laying the premise out there now that it may taste as bad as the Malort, just because I'm pleasantly
Point made.
surprised by
Point
the
made.
aroma, just like I was with
It's
that.
not offensive, no, not at all. I mean, it's fairly simple, but it's not offensive at all. So let's see what this.
Oh,
I'm going in. See you in the emergency room.
I'll be damned if that doesn't linger.
Yeah.
like forever.
Yeah.
And the
Like a
nose don't
gypsy
lie.
curse.
Okay.
To quote David Ogden Stiers, it's awfully warm.
Now the initial flavor was sweet,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm detecting a fourth flavor. Okay, it started off sweet. It was the same sweet candy corn flavor. Then into black pepper. Then into honey. If honey weren't sweet,
Ooh, that's a weird.
that funk
weird
from
thing.
honey, it just didn't have any sweetness to it. And now aspartame, like the aftertaste of
Yes.
not the sweetness, but the aftertaste of
Like
artificial sweetness.
like sweet and low.
That's
Yes.
Yeah,
sour.
but that aspartame kind of flavor is definitely not as strong as we've had in some of our other villains that have crossed
Oh
our
no!
palate.
Oh no! Oh no! If I had a flask of this at a football tailgate,
Right.
yeah, I would find a bottle of Coke and pour it in there, and would probably be okay with it. The initial impression was, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's kind of bad. Oh no, yeah, it's and there, other more sips. Again, it's not immediately bracingly awful, but there are notes as it just keeps evolving that are
Which is actually impressive. It's more complex than you
yeah.
would have thought.
It is more.
I
I think that
would
marshmallow has
hazard
a lot to
to
do with that.
You
I
guys
think
yeah,
the
I
man-
would hazard to say if they could take this and put it in some barrels for a couple years, this may actually be pretty damn fine. Oh, by the way, I don't know if the camera will capture it, but I did that little red right there, aged 5 seconds.
5 seconds. That means
5
the whole
seconds, Jim.
bottom of that whiskey barrel is about that big,
It's basically a wooden pipe they ran it through.
pretty much.
Did you tell me what you think, John?
Honestly, it mixes really well with Coke.
It
Like,
mixes
that-
really well. It
Straight
does.
up.
It mixes really good.
straight up. And I'm using the classic, like I did Richard using a diet, but all I had was classic. So
Yeah, I wanted
seriously,
to compound that aspartame flavor. I'm just not getting enough of that in my life.
it's,
So
it's real friendly with Coke. Like I'm sure if I threw this on the rocks, and like you said, at a tailgate party or something like that, yeah.
this is
In
actually
fact, I would probably enjoy this a little bit better. Like, usually when I mix Jack and Coke, like the Jack is so heavy in there that lately in my latter years, I'm not the biggest fan. This is actually mellowed out by the Coke, and it's becomes very friendly. So it's a nice highball.
Along that line, as an actual highball, if you put a lot of lemon and some seltzer in this,
I
I
guarantee
can see some possibilities.
I guarantee that will make a good highball because the highball that they used to serve in Tokyo was the Suntory yellow label, which is really one of their it's kind of their bottom shelf whiskey. It's not the prime.
Japan's version of Johnny Walker Red.
Yeah, boom, you nailed it. Like that's exactly what Suntory Yellow is. And Suntory actually has these little takoyaki stands all throughout the city. These standing tables where you can get takoyaki and beer or a highball, and that's what they promote. And it's a real fun place to gather. And I always like those highballs. This would make a great straight up highball, which I would try right now, but I don't have lemon, and you would really need lemon to kick it off.
Anything else? Okay, here we go.
all right.
Proper highball. Nice fresh slice of lime. Some Schweppes club soda.
There you go.
Good. All I can smell is a lemon.
That's probably a good thing.
That's not bad. Now, some of the corn is still there, and it's it's the kind of corn that if you've ever had a big bag of feed corn, dried feed corn,
Yeah.
the dust in there has a certain kind of funk to it. I mean, it's still unmistakably corn,
Yeah,
but it's
I know
unique.
that.
It's not like the sweet corn that you would get, like a fresh sweet corn or a bag of frozen corn. It's not that flavor. It's the odor of that corn dusk, and it's still there. But this ain't bad. You put that with some crushed ice, and that actually would be pretty damn good. Now, along the same token, I am going to.
Now, I am going to
fresh-
say, when you mix it with the Coke, the sweetness of the
Yeah.
Coke makes up for that. It overpowers
Oh.
that funk. I don't
Yeah.
have the funk anymore.
Some Fever Tree ginger ale.
But come on, Richard. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk.
We want the funk. We want the funk.
Gotta have that funk. Sorry.
Play that funky music, white boy.
Ginger ale.
Yeah.
Fever Tree ginger ale with a little bit of, I've got a little slice of lemon in it.
It needs the
That
sweet,
really complements it.
It needs the sweetness. It because it didn't age long enough in the barrel to pick up any of that wood flavor. It really needs the sugar to mellow it out.
In fact,
I can get the vanilla or sometimes the cherry notes and the roundness of that wood.
I'm not going to do it tonight because I really don't need that much sugar, but I have a couple of ginger ales left in my fridge, but they're the bold ginger ale, that real peppery ginger ale that I like. I don't think you guys would like it that much, but I love that stuff. And I've got 2 of those left. And so probably tomorrow when I get home from work and I'm chilling out, I will probably mix that with the last, little bit I've got in here. I'm going to mix that with the ginger ale and see how that tastes. And maybe stop picking
I can remember when you mentioned this ages ago, John, thinking that, oh, hell yeah, if I ever see this, I'm going to get it. This is going to be hilarious. This is going to be terrible, whatever it may be.
No.
It's niche. It's niche in that this is not something that you're going to drink neat. You need to mix it into a cocktail sometime. It's not going to be a go-to cocktail that you drink all the damn time, but this is a successful bottle. I would say I would
categorize it as friendly. Like, it's not the top of the bottom shelf, but it's certainly not anything like we suffered through last week.
As we found out that, Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
It needs some Mountain Dew.
I say that this Fever Tree ginger ale, with this, it really brings the honey notes out strongly. Yeah. This is like a honey. This is almost like a cold remedy, where you put a little whiskey and honey and lemon. Only it's cold instead of hot. But this is not. It's going to be an empty glass.
Probably kill that COVID virus. So there you go.
I think we can all agree. This is a damn sight better than their beer. They should stick to distilling.
Baby Yoda agrees.